Think about software built in just a few hours. How does it justify a $5,500 price tag?
Well, because it completely destroys a $41,000 manual bottleneck.
Right. Welcome to this deep dive. You know that imposter syndrome feeling? We all feel it sometimes, especially when pricing our own services.
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge hurdle.
Today, we're exploring a massive mindset shift. We are looking at value-based pricing,
Yeah, sure.
specifically, for AI automation agencies and independent freelancers too.
Yeah, such an important shift.
Exactly. So we're going to unpack the core pricing framework today. We'll look at finding a project's true worth. This happens during discovery. Then we'll explore how to package that offer and, crucially, how to protect your margins. You really have to avoid scope creep.
Right. This is a critical roadmap. Like anyone selling services today needs this.
Okay, let's unpack this. We really need to shatter the hourly billing illusion. We will use hard numbers here.
Yeah, we have this perfect case study from the sources. So imagine a client processes 20 leads a week.
I mean, that sounds like a very normal volume.
It's incredibly normal.
Yeah.
But look at how they actually process them. A person just sits at a desk, a new lead notification pings. They stop what they are doing.
Okay.
They open the email, they read the prospect's details, they copy all that data, then they open a massive, messy spreadsheet, they paste the data in, then they draft a manual email reply.
That sounds totally mind-numbing. And honestly, incredibly prone to human error.
Exactly. Each lead takes roughly 1 hour to process. Their labor cost is $40 per hour. So someone is doing this tedious work constantly.
Right.
That specific bottleneck costs $800 every week.
Multiply that by 52 weeks, that totals $41,600 annually.
Right.
That is a massive expense. It's just for a purely manual process.
Right. Then you introduce a custom automation. You price that software at $5,500. That software delivers a 7.5 times return.
That's just a staggering return on investment. The sources mentioned another digital agency, too. They fix a similar problem.
Yeah, they automated their entire onboarding process. They did this using a tool called Zapier.
For those unfamiliar, Zapier is a tool that makes different software apps talk to each other.
Which is incredibly popular right now for good reason. That workflow changed absolutely everything for them. Their onboarding time dropped significantly. It went from 45 minutes down to 10 seconds.
That's almost hard to comprehend. Beat. 45 minutes down to 10 seconds.
Yeah. They saved 12 hours every single month just by removing that one manual step.
The grocery brand Erewhon did something similar. They automated their customer service. But they went a step further. They used Zapier alongside ChatGPT. This handled incoming ticket requests.
What's fascinating here is the actual mechanism. Zapier acts as the digital nervous system. It catches the inbound email instantly, then it hands that email over to ChatGPT.
And ChatGPT acts as the digital brain.
Exactly. ChatGPT reads the email, it understands the customer's true intent, it drafts the perfect refund or support response, then it hands it back to Zapier. Zapier just hits send. All of this happens in about 3 seconds.
That mechanism saved them 1,500 labor hours. That time is worth $40,000 annually.
Yeah, they saw a 5.5 times return. 70% of tickets required no human edits. The bots just handled the problems perfectly.
Charging for hours is like selling the paper a map is printed on. You aren't charging for the years of wandering the map saves you. You know?
That is a perfect analogy. When you sell the destination, you change the entire game. You aren't competing with the guy down the street anymore. The one charging $10 less an hour.
But I have a question here. How dangerous is it to promise that exact 7.5 times return to a client?
It's quite dangerous, honestly. The actual return depends entirely on client execution. You cannot control how they use the tool. You might build a flawless automated sales funnel, but what if their sales team ignores the leads? The revenue won't increase at all.
So promise the potential, but the client controls the final result.
Precisely. You build the high-performance engine, but they still have to drive the car.
Okay, that makes sense. We know why we price based on value now. But calculating that abstract number feels terrifying. I still wrestle with pricing my own projects, to be honest.
Oh, it is really tough.
Pulling a number out of thin air feels like guessing. If I'm sitting across from a business owner, how do I actually calculate their specific value?
Well, the framework starts with a simple formula. You map their current costs to the first-year value. Then you determine the project price from that gap.
So you really have to look at the hard data first.
Right. Look at Palo Alto Networks, for instance. This is a massive enterprise-scale example. They saved $150,000 every single year.
Wow. How did they manage to save that much?
They automated their manual internal IT requests. Think about an employee needing folder access. Manually, they submit a ticket, an IT worker reads it. They message back for clarification. It literally takes days. Automation evaluates and grants access instantly.
That is great for massive corporations.
Hmm.
But this exact same math works for small, local businesses. Take Corey Gannam's wedding venue example from the text.
Yeah, that is a perfect example of revenue generation. It's not just time saving.
Their salesperson was constantly busy giving physical property tours. So inbound leads waited 5 to 10 hours for replies.
So Corey built them a speed-to-lead AI agent.
An AI agent is a smart program that performs specific tasks on its own.
Right. This specific agent responded to new leads in just 3 minutes. Think about a bride emailing at 9 at night. The human salesperson is asleep. The lead usually sits there until the next morning.
By that time, she might have booked a different venue entirely.
Exactly. It is a highly emotional purchase. But the AI agent changes that reality completely. It was trained on their specific offers and FAQs. It sent personalized messages immediately. It proposed an in-person tour right then.
It booked 2 extra property tours every single month. Their closing rate on those in-person tours was 40%.
Those extra book tours meant immediate, tangible money.
Whoa. Beat. Imagine generating $11,000 a month in new revenue from a $30 piece of software.
It's wild. 2-sec silence. Companies practically trip over their own feet doing this today. They try manually doing what bots can do instantly.
The source talks about the 5 pillars of business here: intelligence, marketing, operations, sales, and finance.
Right. A traditional operating system relies entirely on human effort. Humans own the pillars and the underlying systems inside them.
An AI operating system completely changes that structural dynamic. AI agents run the individual systems automatically now.
Right. And humans just review the broader pillar level. They direct the AI and course correct when necessary.
So let's talk about the actual pricing benchmark for this work. The benchmark starts at 10 to 20%. That is a percentage of the total first-year value.
Yeah. If you save them $50,000, you charge $5,000. That is the 10% baseline. 20% brings you to $10,000.
Why is 10 to 20% just a starting range and not an industry standard?
Well, the AI services market lacks common benchmarks. Outcome-based pricing is still the Wild West out there. A website has an expected market price. An AI agent replacing a sales team does not.
The market is too new. There's no single benchmark yet.
Exactly. You have to test your pricing constantly against client reactions.
But to plug numbers into that formula, you need data. You cannot price a bottleneck without finding it first. Flawless discovery is absolutely critical here.
You need to ask much better discovery questions up front. How long does a specific manual process actually take today? How many people are involved in that process on average?
What happens when that process is slow or fails completely? What is one successful result actually worth to their bottom line?
You also need to know why they're solving this now. Urgency changes the entire value calculation for the client. PU gives some fantastic advice in the source material regarding this.
Right. Businesses scatter their data everywhere across different software platforms. It's rarely clean or organized at all.
Yeah, you must map how the work actually happens first. You have to find the real bottleneck. Otherwise, you are pricing the wrong solution entirely.
It's like a doctor taking an X-ray before doing a surgery. You have to see the scattered data to fix the real disease. You cannot just treat the visible symptoms and expect a cure.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, Beat, you must look beyond just the raw time saved. Time saved is great, but revenue impact is far more compelling. You have to calculate the total revenue impact of your automation.
Like Corey Gannam selling that simple speed-to-lead agent we discussed, he sold it for $1,500 up front because it directly drove immediate sales for the client.
The actual build time was literally just a few hours, but the revenue impact was massive for the business owner. ROI becomes so much easier to measure when sales increase directly.
What if a client is guarded and refuses to share their true revenue data during discovery?
Then you simply fall back on labor costs and error reduction. You use the specific data they are willing to share. You calculate the hours they spend fixing mistakes.
Focus on labor and error costs if revenue data is hidden.
Exactly. You work with what you have to build the business case.
We're going to take a quick break right here.
Yeah, stick around for more on Building the Offer. Sponsor, mid-roll, sponsor break.
All right, we are back. Here's where it gets really interesting. We have the value, and we have found the real bottleneck. Now we must present it without scaring the client away.
You should always offer 3 distinct packages to them during the pitch. Call them starter, growth, and scale.
This fundamentally changes the scope of the project. It gives the client real choices to make regarding their investment.
The starter package covers the main automation and the most important integration. It's the smallest useful scope possible to solve their immediate pain.
Growth adds more complex workflows, extra integrations, or advanced reporting features. It creates clear extra value for a significantly higher price.
Scale covers the full comprehensive system with broader automation and premium support. Single automations might run $1,000 to $3,000 typically. Multi-workflow projects easily hit $5,000 to $15,000.
There is a crucial rule for dealing with low client budgets. If they cannot afford you, you must adjust the scope. You should never discount the project price for the same work.
Right, you definitely must verify the math before you send the proposal.
Psychologically, why do 3 packages work so much better than a single flat proposal?
It shifts the client's mindset during the pitch entirely. When you present 1 price, they ask themselves if they should buy. When you present 3, they ask themselves which specific package they should buy.
It changes the question from yes or no to which one.
It's a subtle but incredibly powerful sales tactic for agencies.
Getting a yes on a $10,000 package is great, but it's entirely worthless if scope creep eats all your profit.
Scope creep is silent but deadly for your profit margins. High Level actually cites scope creep as a major agency pain point. Clients always want just one more little thing added to the project.
Giving into scope creep is like letting a client add extra bedrooms to a house. While you're still pouring the foundation for the original floor plan, it destabilizes the entire project.
That's exactly what ruins your profit margins and your timelines. You can fix this easily with a version 2 backlog.
Imagine the client suddenly wants a custom WhatsApp integration halfway through the build. They just ask you to quickly add it in.
You simply move that request to phase 2. You keep the current phase completely focused on the agreed scope. You price the new WhatsApp request completely separately for later.
You also must set clear, testable milestones tied directly to payments.
This protects you from endless revisions and delayed payments.
Can you break down an example of a testable milestone for us?
Let's say a test lead goes into HubSpot successfully.
HubSpot is software used for marketing and customer relationship management.
Right. So the lead enters HubSpot. Then a Slack alert is sent to the team within 1 minute. The client tests it and confirms it works exactly as agreed. Once they confirm, the next payment becomes instantly due.
That keeps the project moving forward objectively. You also must separate ongoing maintenance from the actual build phase. What does maintenance actually cover in this context?
It covers fixing broken integrations or handling unexpected API changes.
An API is a digital bridge, letting 2 software programs share data.
Exactly. When those bridges update, things break. Maintenance is making small adjustments that keep the current workflow running smoothly.
Marty's OpenClaw setup is a great example from the text. He deals with constant gateway crashes and tricky routing issues.
Configurations can easily get lost after random software auto-updates. Real production systems need this kind of ongoing manual support.
But new workflows mean completely new scope for the agency. They don't count as free ongoing maintenance just because they are a client.
Never give away new features under the guise of basic maintenance.
So how do you tell an excited client no to a new feature without killing the vibe?
You validate their idea enthusiastically, but defer it to the backlog. You tell them it's a brilliant idea for the next phase.
Don't say no, just say yes in phase 2.
Exactly. You keep the momentum going without losing your shirt.
So let's briefly synthesize the core takeaway from today's deep dive. Pricing should never reflect the hours you sweat behind a keyboard.
It absolutely must reflect the financial bleeding you stop for the client. You are selling the actual solution to a massive business problem.
If AI makes the actual time it takes to build software approach 0, then soon the only thing you can charge for is your understanding of the client's problem. Beat. So what problem do you understand better than anyone else?
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Out Euro Music.